Right, last story before we get into the questions. And the Odyssey teaser came out. I guess it got leaked. I didn't watch it. I want to see it. If it's going to come out, I want to see it for real. Well, the Odyssey teaser is stirring talks about accents. The teaser trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is now in cinemas with copies of Jurassic World Rebirth, while good quality copies of the clip are now circulating online on social media with no release plans as yet by the studio, which is the stupidest thing in the world. We'll talk about it for this reason alone. This was such a stupid decision by the studio to not release this trailer because of this reason. While the clip is deliberately vague and gives very little in terms of showing off the film beyond a seemingly dark and serious tone, one thing it does reveal that has already stirred talk is the use of accents. We hear multiple characters speaking, from John Bernthal and John Leguizamo to British actor Tom Holland, with all seemingly using American accents. I love Nolan. I have problems with that. It's a little odd to hear it in an ancient Greek setting, especially Bernthal's Sparta, by the way, of Baltimore delivery. Sword and Sandal films often resort to British accents, but occasionally change things up, either letting actors keep original accents or change things up, the Irish accents in Oliver Stone's Alexander. Why Nolan has gone this route is unclear, but Universal Pictures has finally released a poster for the new film throughout its official channels, a one sheet slightly different from the copy that went on a few days. Okay, let's check this out. There's the poster. Okay, so let's start with the trailer part of it about not being released. I think this is a major mistake, and I don't know what they're trying to do. This should be only seen in theaters. First of all, this is so silly on so many different reasons. Now, I don't know if that's the reason why they're doing it, but if it is, so silly on a lot of different levels. For one, you're trying to market this movie in a world of these big blockbuster movies. Yes, it's Nolan, but you want to get the word out there and you want to get people excited about it a year before the damn thing comes out. Release the trailer online, get more people. You don't just expect, well, we want people to go see Jurassic World, so they got to go see it. This isn't the Phantom Menace before like Meet Joe Black. Like this is you can see trailers all the damn time on the internet because you got big TVs that you can watch on. Other reason is because of what they said is already happening. Oh, it's not online. Well, I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel, and then you're watching some probably okay quality, not the best quality, and then it gets leaked and then people are talking about it. So that first, Kris, do you think that this is something that the studio is doing because of the reasons I said, or is it something different?
No, I feel like you nail it there. I feel like it is the idea of let's, again, create that event, get that exclusivity into a theater, which because people will do whatever they want and record screens and do that kind of stuff. And honestly, a 16-year-old working at the AMC shouldn't have to tell adults to behave themselves. So I understand how these leaks happen, but it is a little silly. I do love this for people who enjoy going to a theater and seeing a trailer for the first time there. But I feel like the people who enjoy that kind of thing already are staying off of the internet. They see a trailer come on and they leave the room. I feel like you're not really curating the theater group that you think you are with this kind of move.
Yeah, I don't get it. Brett, what do you make of this?
I just remember that Little Mermaid wasn't the same when my dad brought home that VHS from New York. It just really didn't hit when people kept getting up to go get popcorn, and I don't think these leaked ones will hit the same way.
No, they just don't. Yeah. They don't, and I just don't understand like why they do that. Well, it needs to be seen in theaters. It's like, come on, what are we doing here? So, that's part one. Part two is the accents. I know people are not going to agree with me here. The big controversy with The Brutalist over with the fact that they used AI to help with accents. Throw that AI program in there and start giving more accents. I know you're not going to agree with me, but get those American accents out of there. Napoleon speaking in an American accent drove me crazy. It drives me crazy. I love John Bernthal, but I was watching a lot of the movies that he does. He doesn't really change up his tone. I love John Bernthal, but he doesn't really change up. Sometimes he does Southern, right? But I don't want to see Southern Odyssey, and I don't want to see an East Coast person in it. Throw that AI program in there and give them accents. Brett, why do you agree with me? All right. I know that you guys know Viagra. I know you know Cialis. and you probably even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond just the usual pill, you gotta meet RUGIET Ready. There are other companies that rely on similar ingredients to support the blood flow, but RUGIET Ready is the next-gen prescription treatment designed to help amplify the arousal in the brain and increase the blood flow. So if the usual pills aren't doing the trick, RUGIET Ready could be the answer. It's essentially 3-in-1 formula, dissolves right under your tongue to absorb fast, so you'll be ready in just 15 minutes on average, not hours, and it affects up to 36 hours. That means you can stay confident, you can stay present, and in control when the moment's right. If you want proof, over 150,000 men have made the switch, and you can read their customer reviews right on the site. Now, getting started, that's simple. RUGIET connects you with the board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships to you quickly right to your door. So connect with a provider at rugiet.com/Kristian to see if a RUGIET Ready prescription is ready for you. Connect with the provider at rugiet.com/Kristian to see if a RUGIET Ready prescription is right for you. You can use that code Kristian to get 15% off today. That is RUGIET, RUGIET.com/Kristian. Use that promo code Kristian, get 15% off today. Head to rugiet.com/Kristian and use that code Kristian. Get 15% off today. Use the code to support the show, and so RUGIET knows that we sent you. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the RUGIET website for full safety information.
Because it takes you out of it. You know, you don't want to see people talking about Spada.
Right. Yeah, no, right. But Kris, you definitely don't agree with me.
I don't. No. Did Bill Burr take you out of Star Wars now that we know that there's Star Wars Boston?
That's different. That's
Yeah.
How's that different?
Totally different.
How's that different? Because this is an epic poem that is loosely around the events of the Trojan War. This is all fantasy and myth and all kinds of things.
But if you're in a different galaxy, you can convince me that somebody sounds like Bill Burr in one part of some random planet in the galaxy. At that point in time, there weren't people that sounded like me. Like, you know, it's like, hey, get the dragon. Let's go fight. Let's go fight Medusa. You know, it's like, come on.
I do agree that a lot of times people just need dialect training. That's part of being an actor.
Yeah.
Is go get a dialect coach and do the training and do that. That's why I'm also iffy on the let's judge this around with AI of just be better at your job. And I say that as somebody who really struggles with dialects.
They shot it already.
Well, not fair. But I just, for me, like one of my favorite movies, and I know this is a very different kind of film too, is The Much Ado About Nothing that Kenneth Branagh did, with everyone just using their own dialects, their own natural dialects, because also everyone makes Shakespeare English for some reason, just because he was, and ye old English was way closer to just kind of podunk Southern if we're getting really, really technical about things. So having everyone speak however they naturally spoke worked for me in that, because it's also a fantastical world in a mystical place, with a war going on.
Sure.
So I can understand kind of doing whatever with this. I have more of an issue with the AI aspect of it than the dialects chosen to be used in this.
That's fair. Like I said,
I understand for something like this, I would naturally want something that is Grecian or English, because we also have all decided, no, Tolkien got it right. Any fantasy story, you guys have British accents. That's how it's going to work.
It just sounds better. You know, it just sounds better. I don't know. I mean, because someone
sounds more old timey.
It just does.
It sounds very old timey and fancy. I get that.
And somebody said in the chat, how do you know what people sounded like in ancient Troy? And I'll tell you what, it's more likely that they sounded like they had British accents than like me. And I'm telling you that right now. But the bottom line of both of that is they didn't sound like either one. The whole thing should be in subtitles. What it should be is more likely what it should be. It should be in subtitles with, but you can't do that because that's not marketable. And I understand that. But and this is always an issue for me, and it might not be for other people. And I love Nolan more than anybody. I love Christopher Nolan, but I love Ridley Scott. But I'm telling you, it was one of my biggest issues when I'm like, why in the world is Napoleon speaking like he is from Detroit? I'm like, it took me right out of the movie. And if I hear it in the way that, like, remember how big of a deal it was when Kevin Costner was no accent for Robin Hood. So that's an issue.
I just feel like sometimes you have to think about the world building. And I might watch this and go, gosh, that takes me out of this. I hate this so much,
Yeah.
honestly. But I do want to listen to it first before I make a snap judgment about it.
Fair.
Because certain times too, going to see different adaptations of things where it's the same script but put in a different time period or a different place,
Right.
those have had a really strong impact on me of, oh, wow, isn't it cool how all these stories are universal, but now I can watch it with this other lens on it. But who's to say? I might sit in the theater and go, man, Nolan, you really screwed this up by doing this choice.
I mean, maybe it could be one of these things like exactly what you just said, where, okay, look, we're going to try to do it with accents. And because what is true is that speaking in a bad accent is worse than using an American accent. Like if it's really bad and it's so noticeable that it's like, and that's not even just an English accent, it's like a New York accent, a Boston accent. If it's so bad, it rips you right out of it. It's like, just don't do that. I'd rather you not have the accent. Like Leonardo DiCaprio isn't really even trying to do a very strong accent in Wolf of Wall Street. There's like something in there, but he's not trying super hard in the way that, like, 'cause sometimes I'll always tell when somebody's doing a bad accent, like, oh, I'm from New York, I want a slice of pizza. Like Ellis does the worst, purposely bad New York accent. As for Jonah Hill, nailed it, right? It sucks you out of it if it's that terrible. So it's like, all right, you might as well just not had an accent. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe Nolan was just like, okay, look, you know what? Let's not try to do that. I want you guys in this movie. I really want you, whether I'm just not singling out John Bernthal, I'm just saying in general, Bernthal or, well, Tom Holland obviously is going to be using his regular accent, I would assume. But that's going to be weird. So he's got an English accent, but then Bernthal doesn't, and then it's that makes me nervous, Kris. Makes me nervous.
And that's totally fair. I'm just still trying to hold off on a whole bunch of judgment. Again, the bigger issue is when you said, just use the AI thing. I went, oh, no, please don't. I wanted that to stay so far away from all of us.
Yeah, that's going to happen, though, eventually, too, especially when
I know it will, but, you know,
I
can be all pissy about it.
You want to prolong it as long as you
you
get it.
Just as somebody who makes their bread and butter changing their voice.
I know.
Kris, you just have to make a snap judgment about something you haven't heard. It's just more fun that way and more internet-y. You have to go what you read off an article, think what you think it's going to be, and be annoyed like Kristian. Tell them they need AI.
That's right.
You know, thank you. I'm going to work on this for next week. And I'm going to come in here with so many hot takes of like, you know what? I didn't read that, but I don't like the author's name for that article. So this is bullshit.
You're just going to basically do what Brett does.
Yeah. Corn sweat. I've got the corn sweats now. You know,
100%. All right. What do you guys make of the accent gate? Do you think this is going to be something that is worth it to just say, hey, listen, just go and say what you're going to say? Nolan, because that is the other side. Get out of here, stupid microphone. That is, to me, enough where Nolan is that good. To be honest with you, I'll probably get over it pretty quick. I probably will. But what do you think? Do you think that they should just try to do it, the accents? Do you think they should just do what they're doing? Or should they try the AI program and make Chris Carr's head spin off her body? So what do you guys think? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know.